History is set to be made tomorrow as the King becomes the first British monarch to pray alongside the Pope in 500 years. But it's headlines of a different kind that are continuing to cast a shadow over the royals, focusing today on whether Prince Andrew should leave the Royal Lodge. The possible impact of the scandal, the legacy of the Queen, and also ongoing stories about a Prince Harry return. Here with her take on all of that, please welcome royal expert Jennie Bond. Jennie, behind the scenes, with obviously King Charles, the trip to the Pope, this would be normally very positive news. The palace must be tearing their hair out with how the headlines are going.
Only it's gone on and on. What are we on, day 5 now? It has been relentless, and I do think this is a huge crisis for the royal family and for the monarchy. I have said even as bad as Diana's death, because tragic as that was, this is such a sordid tale, and I know that Andrew has denied all the accusations against him, but nevertheless, we are talking here about a sex ring that abused children, young girls, and Andrew is known to have been a friend of that paedophile. Whatever else, he was a friend, and he lied publicly about how long that friendship went on.
I mean, Virginia Giuffre's ghostwriter, Amy Wallace, so she has been quoted, she said Andrew should say what he knows. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think if he has a shred of decency or dignity left, then he should just go to the American authorities primarily. He doesn't have to do it publicly, you know. He could do it on video link, he could do it by email or whatever, and say, I was there and this is what I saw. And I want to help in the best way I can.
And why do you think he hasn't done that?
I don't know. I don't know. He protests his innocence again and again, but he is very reluctant to do that. He is sticking his heels in on that, just as he is about Royal Lodge.
But if he doesn't do that, do you not think that they're just going to continue to drip feed all of these emails and evidence that they've got collated? Do you think that's just going to continue?
Oh, I think, yes. I think there's more to come because these emails are being trawled through in the United States. And I think that's one reason that the King has taken the step he has taken, which is to force his brother to relinquish his titles. I get quite annoyed when people say, oh, he's given up his... he has not given them up willingly, I'll guarantee that. He was forcibly lowered onto that sword. And, of course, there are calls for him to give up his title of Prince, which is possible. And there's really a head of steam, as you said, Jane, about getting him out of Royal Lodge now.
Yes.
And even the Prime Minister has joined the call for there to be a full inquiry into how he is financing that.
Yes. Sorry, Nadia, just while we mentioned that. So it was Liberal Democrat leader Ed Davey that asked the Prime Minister, and Sir Keir answered, it's important in relation to all Crown properties that there is proper scrutiny. I certainly support that.
There's a public interest there because the Crown estate properties, they give a profit, and some of the profits, the large part of the profits from the Crown estate, goes to the taxpayer, goes to the Treasury. So there is a public interest in finding, has he been paying a market rent for it all these 22 years? The answer to that, I think, is no.
I mean, personally, I think if we're talking too much about the lodge, we're forgetting the victims again. And there's so much chat about all of this, isn't it? That it drives me crazy. But we were chatting earlier, weren't we, down in makeup, and you said that you never thought that you would write the line. And what was the line that you said about him?
Well, yes, I wrote in the paper that Andrew, and this is before he gave up his titles, could now add another name to his clutch of titles, and that was liar. And as I wrote it, I thought, gosh, you know, but it's indisputable, you know.
But you just never imagined that you would be writing like that about royalty, did you?
No, I wouldn't. And to read some of the press reports, or to hear a senior Tory minister yesterday saying that Andrew is a national disgrace, we don't want him here anymore. And I think in the end, there is this head of steam to get him out. You know, that the pack is hunting for him.
So do you think that it's a process that they're having to put... Obviously, they can't railroad him out now, annoyingly. They're having to put a process... Is this part of it?
Well, I just think this head of steam from the media, from the public, and I do think, in this case, the media are reflecting the public. Sometimes we're accused of not doing that. But I don't think we're leading the hunt in this. And now you've got Parliament joining in, MPs joining in. I think that Andrew and Sarah will leave in the end.
Why would somebody with 2 daughters, with this being levied in his direction, not want to clear his name?
You answer that.
Right.
Yes.
And talking of his daughters, where does it leave them? Because they've done nothing wrong, have they?
I think you do have to feel for Beatrice and Eugenie.
Yeah.
They must be so torn. But they must, don't you think, they must believe their father. Their father
if you
says
love your father, you're not... I mean, that's the one person that you're going to believe, isn't it? And so I feel so sorry for them. I mean, it's just daily, isn't it? Just
the weekend they were meant to be at a big charity event. They didn't. They're keeping a very low profile. But they love their parents. And actually, I have to say that, Maurice, whatever you say about Andrew and Sarah, they have been pretty decent parents. Given their divorce, they've formed this...
very tight family, aren't they?
Really tight family, yes.
Can I ask what you think about our late Queen? Do you think it's going to tarnish her name in any way?
I don't think it should, no. People say she didn't act perhaps swiftly enough with her son. I mean, she loved Andrew a lot, but she sacked him. She sacked her son from his job. And she did that pretty swiftly after the Newsnight interview. I think most of us who were fond of her probably feel, thank goodness she isn't around, actually, to see what's happening now.
And I read a suggestion earlier in the week that maybe Prince William's fingerprints are over this in the background, because obviously he will become king and he's made it quite clear that he wants to modernise and slim down the monarchy. Do you think he's played a role in sort of getting Andrew to face up to...
I do. Can you imagine being William?
No.
Well, you're born into this weird world, this odd destiny that you didn't ask for. And, I spoke to Diana about this, and she said, you know, he finds the prospect... He was about 12 at the time, and he finds the prospect of being king really hard. It's a burden on his shoulders.
Yeah.
He's grown into the job, he's accepted his destiny, he's trying to change it, he's trying to do royal with a small r, and then this happens. You know, your black sheep uncle tarnishes the reputation, the wider reputation of the monarchy and the family. I mean, I think he's hopping mad.
Yeah. Well, we asked the palace for a statement, because we were talking about this, obviously. I'm quite surprised by this. We do not act for Prince Andrew in any way, so this is not the appropriate organisation to approach for comment.
Have you ever heard anything like that from the palace?
Well, no, they have...
I found that really shocking.
They've said for a long time they don't speak for Andrew, you know, so...
But that's quite... That's one way of saying we don't speak. That is very pointed.
Yes.
And, of course, Prince Andrew, it remains, vigorously denies the accusations against him. So I do think this story is going to run and run.
I'm afraid it is. It's dropping slightly down the running order now. It's not on all the front pages, but as I was saying, I think there's more to come.
Until any more emails emerge.
Yes, email.
Yeah. OK, well, Jennie, thank you very, very much indeed for coming to join us this afternoon.